Did that go the way you thought it was gonna go? Nope.
Bigger than Burger King and McDonald's, in South Korea, this franchise wears the burger crown. Here are 10 reasons why Lotteria is Korea's favorite fast food chain.
Take it.
It's a homegrown hamburger success story.
He's attempting to make the most difficult burger known to man.
So how does a burger chain become more popular in South Korea than the biggest franchises in the world? Well, it helps when that chain has a homegrown connection. Lotteria's was an expansion of the Lotte Company, founded by South Korean businessman Shin Gyok-ho when he was living in Japan in 1948. Lotte was originally a confectionery company specializing in mass-producing chewing gum, but eventually expanded to opening Lotteria restaurants in 1972. It's been suggested the Lotteria name is a combination of the parent company name and the word cafeteria, and it's been a hotbed for classic diner food since its inception.
I'm just excited.
Nearly a decade after starting operations in Tokyo, Lotteria opened its first location in its founder's homeland of South Korea in 1979. It has proudly been known and advertised as South Korea's first ever hamburger franchise ever since. Over the coming years, it expanded through East Asia, but has always been considered Korean by its home citizens and its connection to the Korean founder. In early 2023, all of Lotteria's shares were sold to Japanese fast food holding company Zensho. But even if the boardroom business will be returning to Japan, where the whole story started for Lotteria, their restaurants will always be considered a Korean creation.
What?
It's true.
The Bulgogi Burger.
Hey, would you like some more bulgogi?
If there's one true constant in the fast food business, it's that you need a flagship product and maybe a mascot. McDonald's has its Big Mac, Burger King has its Whopper, and Wendy's has its Baconator. For Lotteria, it's their Bulgogi Burger that outshines the rest. First debuting in 1992, the Bulgogi Burger is a Korean barbecue-style hamburger made with a sweet sauce that was created directly to appeal to the local palate. The original dish of bulgogi is considered a Korean delicacy and is essentially a thin-sliced charbroiled meat that has been marinated before being cooked and is served with a gochujang sauce.
It's fantastic!
In 2004, Lotteria upped their game even further by introducing the Hanwoo version of the Bulgogi Burger to their menu, which was the first burger in the Asian fast food industry to use Hanwoo beef. Hanwoo is an exclusive breed of cattle that is native to the Korean peninsula, and citizens consider it a national and cultural icon, as well as one of the world's top quality meats. This makes the Bulgogi Burger a big seller on the Lotteria menu.
I had 2 sets of prices.
One's the Emmy winner discount.
The Shrimp Burger.
This is the shrimp burger. It's kind of a mystery.
Chicken or beef isn't just the most asked question at wedding receptions. They're also your only standard burger options at basically every fast food joint in America. That might explain why providing a unique third option became such a hit for Lotteria when they added a shrimp burger to the menu. While it might sound a little exotic, in practice, it's not that far off from a typical po' boy sandwich. South Korea itself is a peninsula and is surrounded by deep blue seas on its east, west, and south shores, which makes seafood a huge part of both their economy and their culinary traditions. It's not uncommon for most sit-down Korean restaurants to contain supermarket-style whole aquariums of fish and seafood ready to be cooked up for customers at a moment's notice.
Look at that! How does one eat this?
So when Lotteria merged seafood with fast food by introducing the shrimp burger in the 1970s, it was immediately popular. Other fast food chains in Asia, like Moss Burger and McDonald's, took to copying the idea, but the original has stood the test of time. Ditching the filler, the deep-fried patty is made entirely of processed shrimp with a hint of spice and is served on a black sesame seed bun with lettuce and a seafood sauce that is reminiscent of a sweetened tartar sauce. Move over fish fillet, the Lotteria Shrimp Burger sounds like the new catch of the day.
It's huge!
Nice going!
First time here? Well, you don't need to speak Korean to hit that subscribe button, so go ahead and smash it. Thanks. The Kimchi Burger.
Kimchi what?
The strategy of appealing to the love of their country saw Lotteria receive the highest score on Korea's National Consumer Satisfaction Index for the hamburger industry in 2021, which is impressive enough on its own, but that was the 10th straight year in a row they'd done it. The success has ballooned the franchise to having over 1,300 locations all across South Korea, so there's certainly no reason to stop appealing to national tastes. This brings us to the Kimchi Burger, which is representative of many generations variations of traditional Korean recipes.
Always do something unexpected.
No, follow the recipe.
Kimchi itself is a traditional Korean side dish of which there are hundreds of different varieties, but the base recipe is commonly made from cabbage that is salted and fermented. It's much like the classic ballpark sauerkraut we all put on our hot dogs, but it packs a bit more spice due to the use of Korean chili powder, and in this case, it's on a burger instead of a dog. The fermentation process makes kimchi great for digestive health as it's packed with the same healthy bacteria that are found in fermented dairy products like yogurt. So now you can pack your patty with probiotics. Kimchi is so quintessentially Korean that it even bridges political divides, as the name kimchi is the accepted word for the dish in both the standard national languages of North Korea and South Korea. Whichever language the kimchi burger is ordered in, we can bet they're ordering more than one.
Told you. So good, right?
So good.
It's even bigger than Korea.
I can't remember if it's North or South Korea.
While Lotteria is a South Korean sensation, the taste and innovation have expanded beyond the homeland it promotes so strongly. Expanding beyond the company's 1,300 South Korean locations, Lotteria is the first Korean burger franchise to expand past its borders. In addition to the original Tokyo locations, the first major Lotteria expansion stop was China in 1994, which needed a 2003 retreat followed by a 2008 return to finally gain traction with customers. Since then, franchises have opened in Myanmar, Cambodia, Kazakhstan, Laos, and Mongolia in an aggressive plan that increased Lotteria's footprint.
Are you kidding me?
The biggest success so far, though, has been in Vietnam, where they first broke ground in 1998. It has the most locations than any of Lotteria's expansion nations, with 246 restaurants across Vietnam, dwarfing competitors like McDonald's, which have a mere 20, or Burger King, which has less than a dozen. Lotteria has claimed interest in nearly doubling its Vietnamese presence, planning to have a total of 400 locations there by 2027. On the heels of this success in outside markets, Lotteria is rumored to be entering Malaysia and Singapore as well, and have even had their eyes on opening restaurants in the United States. If that happens, maybe we can all get our hands on this uniquely Korean burger experience.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's a classic diner experience.
I'm the cook.
Although Lotteria appeals to its Korean culinary tradition and people's national pride, they've found a large part of its success by providing customers with an experience they could otherwise only find if they traveled abroad. Lotteria's food is very much influenced by Western fast foods and typical diner fare, but so too is the atmosphere in each of its restaurants. Adding kimchi and bulgogi to cheeseburgers brought Korea to American food, but the ambiance and vibe of the dining experience brings America to Korea. Traditional sit-down Korean dining restaurants are room-centric as opposed to the open-concept dining halls of the West, which are juxtaposed with grand reception areas featuring elegant furniture alongside garden-centric spaces that give the restaurants an organic and natural feel.
That's a nice place.
Conversely, Lotteria piggybacked on the Americanized ideals of fast food service through open and bright tiled interiors with borderline excessive lighting. They even stuck to a strict regimen of playing Western Top 40 music in their locations to mimic the diner experience. Lotteria has even kept evolving that atmosphere with the times, following the modernized McDonald's and Starbucks style of wood paneling and darker colors that leans more towards a cafe-styled aesthetic instead of that classic diner or greasy spoon. After all, a greasy cheeseburger just doesn't hit right if you need a black tie and a reservation just to order one.
How was lunch, huh?
Plant-based popularity.
You're eating flesh?
It's just a hamburger.
No matter where you go in the world, you'll be hard-pressed to find a menu without a meat alternative on it. In 2017, Grubhub reported selling almost 200% more vegan dishes than the year prior. And in 2020, supermarket sales of plant-based meats grew by 152%. Plant-based alternatives are here to stay, and Lotteria has hopped on the train. In 2021, 2.5 million South Koreans stated they ate a full vegan diet, with that number having increased more than 10 times in the decade from 2008 to 2018. So in 2020, Lotteria introduced the plant-based Ria Miracle Burger, featuring a patty constructed of wheat proteins.
Are you guys talking about protein? I love protein. I love protein too.
Recently, they one-upped on that recipe with the Ria Miracle Burger 2, which uses soy instead of wheat to replicate beef patties. The new Ria Miracle Burger is topped with traditional lettuce and tomato, but also features a garlic soy onion sauce to complement the patty. While some American chains will tell you their plant-based burgers are impossible, we'll say that this one sounds like a miracle.
This is better.
Eco-conscious efforts.
We are in the process of eliminating all plastic from our packaging.
Even with its plant-based options, Lotteria is eco-conscious in other ways that don't just include its actual food. For the last 2 decades, the South Korean government has been curbing waste by placing fines on disposable cups sold by restaurants. That could cost a store a maximum fine of 78 American cents for each disposable cup that gets disposed of the old-fashioned way instead of being recycled. It doesn't sound like much, but considering fast food restaurants can sell hundreds of sodas a day, it adds up quickly. To avoid that mess altogether, Lotteria serves their non-solid dine-in items in reusable plastic containers. And they don't just keep an eye on the stuff your food goes into, they also keep conscious of cutting down on the bags that carry it by charging anywhere from 50 to 80 cents for every takeout bag. They've also trimmed their plastic straw count since 2021 when they introduced coffee cup-style drinking lids at 100 Lotteria locations to replace traditional disposable straws. Kermit the Frog once sang that it's not easy being green, but Lotteria might beg to differ.
Greenpeace?
That's right.
Helping with health trends.
Yo, man, I'm hungry. Where can we get some breakfast?
Like most of the food industry in the 21st century, Lotteria is aware of the health of its customers just as much as it is the health of the planet. As far back as 2005, Lotteria was bringing healthy alternatives to their menu, like a burger that replaced traditional buns with a low-carb rye bread that only packed 350 calories. In 2007, Lotteria franchises cut the trans fats used in cooking their French fries a year before their competitors at McDonald's did. And a year later, in 2008, they officially released a statement that the revamps of their store images from the classic fast food look to the modernized cafe style were specifically geared towards a more health-conscious set of clientele. But it only makes sense to back up a health-conscious menu with a health-conscious image. After all, didn't someone once say you have to look good to feel good?
Cool.
You've come this far, so take a second, hit that like button. Now, we've got an honorable mention that missed out only because it's less to do with the food and more to do with the the Wi-Fi, that is. Nowadays, restaurants and coffee shops providing free Wi-Fi are commonplace and expected, but Lotteria was ahead of the curve on this one when it first introduced free Wi-Fi back in 2003.
I've got internet activity in all sectors, sir.
The big commercial break saw Wi-Fi originally used for laptops as far back as 1999. But the smartphone craze didn't kick off the global Wi-Fi revolution until almost a decade later. The first iPhone didn't come out in the USA until June of 2007, and they weren't sold in South Korea until November of 2009. But Lotteria was ready and waiting with their 2003 Wi-Fi restaurant rollout. Now the top spot.
Look, our internet connection.
Mom! Never mind.
The classic burger.
There is no secret ingredient.
The biggest reason Lotteria is Korea's favorite chain comes down to the basics, a simple, classic hamburger that hits all the traditional notes. In the age of the mile-high gourmet hamburger that has enough crazy toppings stacked on it to be a buffet for a small child, keeping it simple and keeping it classic will never lose its appeal. The classic burger is listed on the official Lotteria menu as a thick Australian beef patty on a soft potato bun and costs a little over $3 American. They're made to order in 7 minutes outside of peak hours, so freshness is a big perk. Simplified with mustard, mayo, pickles, and crispy onion, the burger has received comparisons to the taste at White Castle and is often considered a welcome break from the sugary sweet barbecue of Lotteria's flagship Bulgogi Burger. From America to South Korea and back again, there's simply nothing that can beat a classic burger.
Sure.
We're taking orders and serving up more great videos. Just tap or click, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell to join our notification squad.